We are a group of young people in Morecambe Bay, connected by the brilliant Stanleys Community Centre, and we took a very important journey of discovery together. Shaped by our experiences in nature, locally both good and bad, we needed to understand more about Morecambe Bay, its behaviours, its beauty, its hazards, and ultimately how to keep ourselves safe to explore it. So we met with local experts we thought could help us on our way and asked them some questions about how we can be safe by the sea. Before we approached people we thought could help us get more information, we took a walk to Morecambe's West End beach to hear Casey's story about swimming with friends locally that almost ended in tragedy, and was the inspiration for this whole project.
Me, my brother, my sister, my other brother and a few of my best mates came to the beach as it was a nice day, and we decided that we were going to go in the fountains for a bit. So we went in the fountains and then we decided to go into the sea. We went quite far in over there and then the tide started coming in, so some of us came back to the sand whereas some others stayed in the water. And then the tide was like moving too fast, they got stuck. So what they managed to do was get to one of the poles that was in the water and like stay there to try like be able to stay above the water. We were all kind of scared, not knowing what to do, so the first thought that came to our heads was go in and help. So one of our mates went in to help while the others called the Coast Guard and the others like rang each one of our parents to explain the situation. It was a bit scary because it was the day before my sister's birthday and we had like loads of things planned for that day. So it was a bit scary because we thought she was gonna like die, kind of.
What I want out of this film is for other people to realise how dangerous the bay is and how to be safe around the bay.
Help people, especially young people, to get educated on how to be safe around the bay.
For other people to feel safe around the environment and know what is safe to do.
It's to help families feel more connected to nature and to help my confidence along the way.
To just have kind of an idea on how to prioritise safety before anything.
After hearing from Casey, we understood that we tend to get carried away when we are in the sea. This leads to us getting further than what was planned and won't realise until it's too late.
Did you know that there is a strategy known as float to live? If you find yourself in difficulty in water, it goes as follows. Lie on your back like a starfish. Tilt your head back with ears submerged. Relax and try to control your breathing. Use your hands to help you stay afloat. It's okay if your legs sink, we all float differently. Plus, if you need emergency assistance or you see anyone else in distress, ring 999 and ask for the Coast Guard.
On our first trip out from Morecambe, we travelled to Grange over Sands to visit Michael and Joe from the Guide Over Sands Trust, who are experts on the shifting sands of the bay. Michael is the King's Guide to the Sands, yes, that's King, and guides many people year after year across the bay, so he knows the sands and the characteristics very well indeed.
I'm Michael and this is Joanne, my partner, and we are the guides of Morecambe Bay. I was appointed 8 years ago. I'm the 26th guide. Originally started back in 1546. Henry VIII appointed the first guide in 1546. People were landing goods in the bay at Lancaster, and then instead of going up in the valleys and getting mugged to get round, they were coming across the bay. But obviously there were fatalities. We've all heard of the fatalities of the bay. So Henry VIII appointed the guides to guide the goods across the bay, and it is a public road, and it's called Monk's Road. And the monks were coming across the road and coming on to Granger and then going over the back of the hill to Cartmel, or over further to the left over to Furness Abbey. So obviously we are going to show you some sinky sand shortly.
How do you learn which way is like safe to go?
I'm a fisherman of the bay, that's where I've learnt everything, and my father was a fisherman and my grandfather was a fisherman. So you can learn to read the sand. See, like for instance here, there's a gutter coming in here, and well, this creates very dangerous sand just behind us here because of all the fresh water runs into the bay, and fresh water doesn't like mixing with salt water. So what happens is it sinks in pockets. So when you walk on it and weight bear on it, all the fresh water comes to the top and it creates sinky sand.
What should we look out for, and is there any clear signs of the areas we should avoid?
You see these pools of water? Well, in between them pools of water, it fills with sand and it makes it very soft, so it's very dangerous just off this brack here. So yeah, you've got to just watch out for wet spots and damp places, really.
How long does the tide take to come in?
It comes in twice a day, so it's a 12-hour thing, and it takes roughly here, it'll come in for about 2 hours. So you've got to be very careful. We're lucky over here because you can hear the siren blow at our side, so it's warning people to get off the beach. But when it comes, if it's a big spring tide, you know when it's coming, it comes in fast enough you can nearly surf on it. So it's coming at a good old rate of knots.
How do you get out the sands when you're stuck in it?
The first thing is not to panic. If you do get stuck, just take a breather and think about it, and think of the situation you've got into. And you never want to do, but try and spread your weight, because obviously you've gone in, your feet are stuck, so you've got to either sit down and try and get your legs out and roll out, or call for help. But yeah, just don't panic.
Do you remember the last time you were stuck in the sand?
I got a tractor stuck on Friday. Michael and I go out with 2 tractors. The tractors are used as emergency vehicles on the bay walk, so because we're taking up to 500 people across, we have to have a means of, getting someone off if someone is not so good or lame. So on a Friday we go out. Michael uses laurel bushes. Laurel doesn't drop the leaves, so that we put them in the sand and the tide comes in and out and they stay there. So on Friday I just was following Michael. Michael went through a dike, I went a bit to the left. Literally a little bit to the left, and the tractor got stuck.
The first time I got stuck was when I was a child, probably. Like children do, you go down, paddle it up and play and get stuck, and then your mates help you get out. Yeah, so that's the first time we got stuck. We used to play in it. I think it was great fun, but not realising the dangers of it.
From Michael and Joe, we learned how to get out of quicksand when we get stuck and how to identify it.
As Michael said, the priority is to keep moving. If you find yourself stuck in the sands, the golden rule is not to panic. Did you know the first plan of action should be to walk backwards and retrace your steps? If this doesn't work, you can call 999 and ask for the Coast Guard. While waiting, you can kneel, sit or lie down in order to spread your weight as much as possible. This will help you stop sinking further.
On our next day, we had a visit from Jon, who established a very popular Mallow swimming group and has expert knowledge on navigating Morecambe Bay's trying tides. Jon brought with him a very useful map that he has made for other swimmers of the bay.
My name's Jon and I've lived in Morecambe since around 2010. In 2015 I'd been doing a lot of running and I got injured, so I couldn't run for a couple of weeks. I was driving my girlfriend mad, complaining about not being able to get out and do what I wanted, and she said, why don't you try swimming? So I came up with the idea of trying to start like an outdoor swimming group, and I started the group on Facebook. In the beginning, nobody joined, and I was just on the verge of cancelling it, thinking it's a big waste of time. Then 2 or 3 people joined, then it became 10 and 50 and hundreds, and now there's like 7,000 people in the group. I don't know where they've all come from. The group's really good. It's got all different people in it, all different shapes, sizes, ages and abilities, and we do charity fundraisers and just regular get-togethers. Yeah.
How far out do you go?
Some of my friends do go quite far out, and I mean I don't like going too far. Even though I've swum miles and miles, I always feel a bit safer being closer to the shore, just in case if anything ever did happen, I could get out. You know, it's happened before. Once I got stung in the face by a jellyfish and my face was burning, so it was good being close in because we could just get out to safety. If you stay like really close into the beach, you don't usually get too many problems. It's when you go further out and when the tide's coming up the bay. Because when I moved over here, I thought the tide just went out that way and it came back in, but it comes like up all the way up. So the further out you go, the chance of being washed up the bay increases.
Do you have to train to swim against the current?
Yeah, sometimes when you're in the sea, sometimes we get to a certain point and the current's behind us, pushing us, and we call it like Superman swimming, because you sort of got your arm out and it's pushing you so fast that you barely have to swim. But you get to other places where the current's against you and it's quite hard sometimes to get through it. It's a real that's where I sometimes feel a bit nervous, because you can see where you're swimming to and it's really hard going. But I think just because we've done it that many times now, we know we can do it, but it is a real challenge sometimes, you know, just to swim through it. It's not easy, but the tide comes in that way, and then when it's going out, it goes out past the jetty really quick. So if you're anywhere near there, that's where I was that day. Instead of going round it, I got pushed out there. So you've got to be really careful out there. Yeah.
How many hours of swimming do you recommend?
If you're just swimming close to the shore, up and down, and you're not going too far out and out of your depth, I don't think you need much training. It's just, I guess, thinking about when the tide's coming in, when it's going out. But there's loads of people in our group, they call themselves dippers. They're not big swimmers. Some of them can barely swim. They just like dipping themselves in the water and floating around or jumping into the waves. And a lot of them, they're not the best swimmers in the world. Well, none of us are, but they just stay really close into the shore and they don't do much swimming. What we do when we're swimming, we find out what time high tide is. Let's just say it was like 5 o'clock. We go in an hour before, so we're swimming while the tide's still coming in, and once it gets to 5 o'clock or whatever, we get out, because that's when you're going to get pulled out. But usually if you get in about an hour before high tide, we've never had any problems doing that. So.
After Jon answered our questions, we went to our nearest beach to share some more experiences, and Jon also showed us his dry bag tow float that can help keep your belongings safe and dry when swimming. From Jon, we learned that swimming in the bay can be fun, and it's important to know which areas are safe and which areas are more dangerous.
The tides of Morecambe Bay can have a range of hidden dangers, including riptides beyond the rocky limestone groins that jut into it. If you do wish to swim in the bay, did you know a good tip when swimming is to simply always remain in the shallow? Remember, there's no lifeguards out there. If you can't feel the sand underneath you, it's a strong sign you should come back to shore.
In the many discussions we had together as a group, it was clear that we were not super confident on how to safely discover the bay's marine life. Most of us were pretty squeamish, so on our last day, we met up with Amber at Half Moon Bay in Heysham to do some rock pooling and learn more about the nature of the bay that is often hidden to us.
So hi, I'm Amber. I work for the Bayer Blueprint for Recovery in Morecambe, and we are a Blue Spaces wellbeing project that work all the way around Morecambe Bay. We do a lot of nature-based activities for people to basically help them feel better, help improve people's well-being. And yeah, we're here at Half Moon Bay, so this is one of the best places in Morecambe to do rock pooling, and it's quite a special habitat, we call it, because it's a rich area in terms of the marine life that we get there.
Now be careful to spot our not so deliberate mistake. We didn't all have suitable footwear for rock pooling, so only Blake and Mac headed onto the sands. For this activity, a good pair of wellies are always the winner.
When you're flipping over rocks, when you're rock pooling, it's really important to when you lift up the rocks, because that's where all the life is, and then when you put it back, it's important to just put it back the same way that you found it, because there's living creatures under there. So that sea snail, periwinkle.
There's a baby one there.
Yeah. And this stuff, this green seaweed is called gutweed. It's actually edible, although it doesn't look very appetizing right now. And the other amazing thing about anemones is that they actually move, because you look at them and think, okay, that's just stuck there.
Yeah.
But they actually, like, throughout the day, they'll like move across the rock, and sometimes they let go of the rock and just like spin around and kind of just end up somewhere new.
Let's put this back then. Oh. Try and find another big one. Oh, you got one? Oh yeah!
Two.
You got two? Oh, quick before they jump. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
What the hell are they? They're shrimps. No.
Wow, that's amazing.
Are we taking them back home?
So we've got a couple of shrimps. We found a couple of shrimps today. We've got some anemones here, which you can see. There's one actually. If you get eyes on there, can you see that
There's
one?
a bigger one there, and it's got the green things on it.
This little one on the rock here, and there's a whole bunch of barnacles covering the rock as well. And there's also a couple of periwinkles, which I might be able to find one of the periwinkles, which are really cute. When they relax, they will come out and you can watch them crawling around. So there's a periwinkle. It's quite a small periwinkle, that. I just spotted something else that we saw right next to where you guys were pointing.
Barnacle.
Oh yeah, barnacles. So we've got, those. Yeah!
I don't think we found a prawn, but we found a shrimp.
Wait, what's that little snail?
Yeah, so looking at all of these shells, what do you think
That one.
that's like the closest to
That
it?
one.
Flatwinkle.
Yeah, so it's
Rough
you're in the
winkle.
right area, so
I would
winkles.
actually say that one a small winkle.
So yeah, it could be a rough winkle or it could be an edible winkle as well. Has anyone ever eaten one of these?
No.
And I don't intend to.
Same.
Saying goodbye to Amber coincided with one of Morecambe Bay's beautiful sunsets, and we had time for reflection on our final conversation. From Amber, we learnt about the sea creatures that exist in Morecambe Bay and how to identify them.
The best way to keep yourself safe when out on the sands and discovering nature is to plan ahead and always check the tide times beforehand. Did you know that there are QR codes on the prom that link you to the tide times, or you can purchase the handy book of tide times from many of the local shops too? To check the tide times right now, you can head to tidetimes.org.uk.
We've had a blast on this project and are very happy to share it with you. If you'd like to hear more from us, you can also do a Safe by the Sea QR code hunt around the West End Gardens and Promenade, where you'll hear more of our stories and facts to keep you safe by the sea. That's all from us. We hope you feel more confident to explore the Bay and beyond, just like us.
This film was produced in direct response to Casey's story by the Morecambe Bay Poverty Truth Commission in partnership with Stanleys Community Centre, Lancaster and Morecambe College and the Morecambe Bay curriculum. Special thanks to Michael, Joe, Jon and Amber who kindly gave us their precious time for the film.